Sounds of Elven King and Pagan Purity here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. This is Blue Please. Before that, Children of Bodom, trashed, lost, and strung out. Yeah, I think I'm getting a sore throat, you know. Either a sore throat or a cold. Something is in the back of my throat, and I don't think it's healthy. Oh, well, never mind. I shall try and finish the show before collapsing in a heap. Okay. Right. I've got a whole bunch of emails. Let me put it this way. I've also got a whole bunch of PMs. I will not be answering your PMs because I get too many of them. Every show, I'm not kidding, every single show I go on, and within about an hour, my whole window is full, absolutely full of PMs. So full that I can't see who they're from. And I kid you not, some of the times I ask for shout-outs, the windows get too small to click on. They really do. It's just not good. But yeah. Send your queries through email. Use it. Don't send me through PM. It's not good. The Murloc@gmail.com is the place to email. Right. Okay. Let's pick a random topic out of the box. Actually, I'll get rid of Claw... Is it Clawhammer's topic first? He asked about the storyline in Guild Wars compared to WoW. WoW lore is better. It's a little less generic than Guild Wars. Guild Wars lore and backstory is kind of forced on you in the way that... I'm not going to ruin it for anyone who wants to play it, but let's just say the training is a prologue to what really happens in the game. Whereas that can be cool, it also feels a little bit forced in some respects. So yeah, I wouldn't say the backstory is as good as WoW. The characters aren't as colourful in the way... You know, the whole world of WoW is colourful in a respect of lore. There's always something about each area. There's always a backstory. There's elements of it. There's a reason for things being there. Or at least you can think of one and make one up. Right. Okay. Daniel Petit says, raiding can still prove a stumbling block for a lot of players. Getting to be in an NC guild and running is getting more difficult than it possibly should be. PvP is a lot more to suit a casual player, but I like to see... What? I'm just trying to get through this email and work out what it's talking about. First, I would like to see PvP sets for current part of our PvP... Right, so what you're effectively talking about is PvP as an alternative to PvE. Right, well, the thing about this is that there is a very different set of knowledge builds. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say skill, because I don't view WoW as a skill-based game. It's all about the knowledge and your items. So, in PvP, if I kill someone, it's not down to skill, it's down to the fact that I hit them in the face 3 times with a frostbolt, critted, and then fire blasted them. That's not skillful, that's mostly random. But then again, you can affect the randomness of it via use of your abilities and via your itemization. Again, not skill, but knowledge. Knowing how to inflict the maximum pain. Knowing how to keep people away from you. Knowledge, but not skill. Frost Novering does not require any skill. Pressing the hotkey does not require any skill, but it requires knowledge. It requires a very different set of knowledge. I think, to be honest, equivalency is a very difficult topic. Because some people argue, and some people argue quite well, that PvE and PvP should not necessarily be compared. They should not be given the same kinds of items, the same level of items. And again, how do you define a level of item? PvP items are generally geared towards PvP play. Say, for instance, the robes may have a lot of stamina on them. The High Warlord staff has a lot of stamina on it. Why? Because stamina allows you to survive longer. In PvE, that's not so important. Is that on the same level as a Staff of Shadowflame? How do you argue that? How do you compare? Can you make a comparison? You've got to be careful with equivalency, because with equivalency, you can end up having items that are far too similar. At the moment, I think PvP sets and such could use a little bit of buffing. A lot of them are relatively useless in endgame. Warlord stuff is nice, but a PvP endgame and the amount of time you have to invest to, say, get to High Warlord Grand Marshal and you get these items, which are not necessarily as good as Molten Core items. Some are better, some are worse. They could use a little bit of a buff, but equivalency, true equivalency, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely impossible. It's too difficult. They are two completely different ends of the spectrum. This is why people have PvE sets and PvE builds and PvP sets and PvP builds and PvP strategies and PvE strategies. It's all swings and roundabouts, apples and oranges and all that kind of thing. Two totally different things. And again, it's like class balance. If you go for perfect class balance, what you can often find is that your classes become too similar. Your abilities become too similar. Take, for example, Warcraft 2 balance. How was Warcraft 2 balanced? Both the sides were almost identical, except for your spellcasters, and people still whined about the spellcasters. I think you do have to accept that one area is going to suffer. If you buff one area, the other area is going to suffer in comparison. People are always looking for the best and the easiest and the quickest way to get the best equipment. And because of that attitude, something somewhere is going to suffer. You remember the old argument with Zinrock, the Destroyer of Worlds? A very, very good sword that could be attained in a 20-man raid. People complain. Hey, well, that's not fair. The Zinrock is better than my Arcanite Reaper, or the Zinrock is better than my Obsidian Edge Blade, or whatever. Whether or not that's true is irrelevant. The point stands that people argued that there shouldn't be this equivalency. And you're going to find that in every area of the game. People are going to whine and complain that an item, a good item, is available in a way that they are not actually doing. So if you're a PvEer, you'll generally find that PvEers will whine about the items available through PvPing, whereas PvPers will do exactly the opposite. Whereas RPers will just, I don't know, whatever RPers do. So that's my argument on that. Equivalency is difficult. Very, very difficult indeed. Unattainable? Quite possibly. Okay, just a quick question to ask. Jonathan Marquette asked, hey, what happened to No Cake News? It was my favourite part of the show. No Cake News is retired until I can get rid of writer's block. I figured that I started writing a No Cake News one week and I realised that I couldn't think of anything funny to say. And rather than putting out a bad No Cake News, I decided just not to do it. That's going to be my way of thinking. It's always been my way of thinking. If I'm feeling, say, ill or I'm feeling not on the ball of a show, I just won't do it. It's better to not do a show than to do a bad one. A bad one can ruin not only your entire reputation, but it could ruin the way the listeners view your show, and, you know, you're wasting listeners' time. Why should I waste your time with a show that sucks? You know, I might as well not do it at all. That's always been my way of thinking, and that's why I'm thinking with No Cake News. The reason No Cake News is not happening at the moment is because I feel I've got writer's block. I can't think of anything funny to say on No Cake. So, yeah. Right. Okay, what else? Oh, dear. Casual versus hardcore. I'm going to wait till after the break to talk about that, because I haven't talked about that for a very, very long time. Right. Forum garbage. Ian McNichol, also known as Besk. I like his address. Captain Obvious. That's good. Anyway, I believe that the WoW official forum should have one of these two things happen to it. Delete the forums altogether, or step up the strictness of the forums and the Blizzard poster being able to remove forum privileges for anyone that acts like a complete idiot. As I see it, the official WoW forums are the biggest hellhole of hate, idiocy, complaining, crying, and just random nonsense, such as Zomga, WTF, BBQ, and should be removed from the face of the internet and never return. And people who have sensible questions to send an email to Blizzard or ask one of their friends. Right, well, what you'll generally find, especially with MMOs, is that official forums are full of morons. It's the fan site forums that are the good ones. They're the places to be. Really, they are. Those are the places to be. Official forums are full of idiots. Now, you can heavily moderate a forum, but what you've got to watch out is that if you heavily moderate a forum, you can take with it casualties. Casualties, posters who are worth seeing posts. I've seen in the past, specifically on PlanetSide forums that I posted on heavily, people have been banned for one reason or another, and they've actually been really good posters. They've just, say, insulted someone, and have been banned for it. Well, the insult was actually quite justified. Or say they've posted a picture of, some girl in a thong or whatever. No nakedness, no nasty bits being shown on a teenage forum, but I've actually seen someone get banned for that, and they were a genuine and really good contributor to that forum. And that's what happens when you over-moderate. You end up killing off the very people you want to stay. The rules are designed to, say, protect these people, and yet those rules are actually abusing them. Bad idea. Now, while I'm not necessarily in favour of over-moderation, I can see the need to clean up the forums. To do that, you're going to need a big staff of people. The sad thing is that why can't Blizzard actually just give moderation powers to people they trust? They can always take them away again. Deputise, effectively, trustworthy players. They can clear up the forums for you, a forum hit squad, as it were. They can deal with it. They can clean up the forums. Deal with all these people. But yeah. That's my opinion on the forums. They suck. We all know they suck. Which is why people in the know avoid them. Fan sites are the way to be. Go to fan site forums, post there, because they are generally communities of people who actually want to have discussions. Intelligent people who have gone out of their way. They obviously like the game enough to sign up to a fan site forum, the same as anyone that signs up to, say, WoW Radio forum. That's why you'll find that our forums are better. Yet we moderate them actively and sensibly, but our forums are better because of the community that actually come to them, not because we moderate them heavily. Enforcing that kind of thing will not help, because you're always going to get morons on the official forums. It doesn't matter how hard you try and delete their posts, there will always be more. They're readily available. I think, actually, one of the biggest points and the biggest reasons that you get a lot of morons on that forum is that you don't have to register for them. You automatically get rights as soon as you join the game. Oh, bad idea. What you're basically saying is that if some 13-year-old with ADD, a complete moron, comes on and they, I'm bored for 5 minutes. Hey, I'll sign up for the forums and I'll post on every Realm forum, 20 threads that say, you are gay, you are gay, you are gay. That's the kind of thing you can expect from bored people. A bored person will not go through the effort of signing up to a fan site forum to do that. It's a natural barrier to them. So yeah, assume that everyone on that forum is a complete moron. Really. Assume that they're idiots, because generally speaking, they are. Assume it, and you can do no wrong, as far as I'm concerned. Shoutouts will come in later in the show, but I think it's time to inflict the horribleness onto you. The horribleness known as rapping the forums. Yo, faux shizzle and so forth. It's time for yet another terrible, horrific edition of the one and only Rapping the Forums. It's where we take the worst forum posts you can possibly imagine and turn them into a disgusting combination of, rap and forums. Making Rapping the Forums. It's a recipe for disaster. Okay, it's time for the first rap of the day. It's from Bioshen. He's a level 69 elf druid. His guild is the Oracle Sentinels. He's on the Venture Co realm. Oh noes. It's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. My PvP headache. I played Battlefield and Jedi Knight series, but this is the first time in my life PvP gave me a headache, and it's because Blizzard likes to put you in a position where you can't fight back and then torture you to death. When I almost hit 30,000 HK, I got such a major headache that I needed 5 days to feel better again. So I felt all better again and play one game of AV, and my brain let her suddenly starts swelling. It's because I lose all control over my character, and no matter how many times I click on the button, this trick will not happen because I am stuck in a fear, stun, or spell interruption cycle. Shaman, debuff is for noobs who can't fight. I started with martial arts at the age of 8, and at 12 was a teacher. You don't tell me anything. I did 11 different types of martial arts, and I suspect while PvP developers are having -10 eyesight and 0 accuracy, should I protect myself for WoW PvP because it gives me a brain swelling? Already have grown tired of PvE dungeons because players play that stuff as if their life depends on it, so I don't care about any level 60 dungeon, and also stop caring about PvP. Please clean up your game. It messed up my life. Oh noes, there is more to come. Hide behind your blinging sofa of bling. Okay. Consume. He's a level 29 undead priest. Is killed the unnamed. His realm is Hellscream. Oh no. Ooh, it's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Twinks I must first say how despicable you people are. You make me sick. Your lack of skill and ability to play a game as it was intended physically makes me sick. I can't believe some of the twinks out there, everyone now, who has spent 200 plus gold to twig out there 10 to 29 character. I have to say to you, hope you understand how terrible you are. These are the reasons. 1, if you didn't have a higher level character, so only money you had was from questing till 29, could you have the agility enchant or the mats? Does any more 0 to 29 drop a Agi mats? I'll ask the question for you. No. Agi is just an example. Crusader, Fiery, +5 one hand, +9 two hand, +22 in, no none. Another one is +100 HP mana. WTF, leave them in chance. FFS. 2, getting items that take many runs of the same instance. This isn't the worst thing, but it rewards having friends. What if a person who doesn't group or can't find groups for bad instances like RFK and RFD? Alliance side. So the person without friends can't group to do it once. Little, alone, 10 plus times 2.5, doing an instance higher than your level. Should be able to Gnomeregan to get items you shouldn't have. Once again, the person with friends abusing instances for better items. I'm not saying I don't have friends, but that can drag me through those, but I don't. Why should I play the game as it was intended? Those are the main points. You guys, it's terrible, it's not fun. The real problem is the twinks are normally the characters with ults who are semi-good at the game. To those people, why the hell do you have to twink it yourself? I still win 90% of the time. Yes, I do. No inch, not to 1. Well, that is a lie. I have +5 mana to chest. You don't have to twink to have fun. You just have to stick to your skill and skill will win. I don't dislike Alliance drinks. I don't like Horde either. But it's a necessary evil when people like Malicious, Lenny and Denied are in the game. I guess I'm just sour because I like PvP a lot. Why can't there be level caps for a chance like 50 min for Agi +15, 7 for +22 in? Why can't there be Crusader on any weapon? A terrible, please gain some decency or kill yourself, all the same to me.